Mike's live, Hernan. Mike's live. Oh, Mike's live. Mike's live. It's the oil stream brought to you by Boston Pizza. Mike's alive.
Who's Mike?
I don't know.
He's alive, though.
Mike's not here.
Dave's not here,
Dave's
man.
not here. Mike's from Canmore. Remember that bit?
I do remember that.
What was that on? What was that on? That was
22 minutes.
22 minutes.
Or was it Air Force?
Royal Canadian Air Force?
Yeah, that was a good show,
Mike
too.
from Canmore?
I'm Mike from Canmore?
He was good.
I had no idea. I didn't get it. You know?
Mike from Canmore?
I didn't get it because I didn't know if there was a thing about Canmore. All I knew it was in Alberta. Are there a lot of Mikes from Canmore that speak like that? And he made Mike from Canmore seem kind of kind-hearted, good intentions, but somewhat dumb.
Who doesn't roll through Canmore though and go, "I'm Mike from Can"? Like, I mean, that had to have been a bit for a long time. Like,
but Canmore is beautiful.
Canmore's great.
Yeah,
I prefer staying in Canmore and then just going into Banff to visit.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably take that same approach.
Canmore's sneaky good to just hang out on your own. I had a buddy who got married up in Banff, but we all stayed in Canmore, and it was awesome. The day of his wedding for lunch, we went to A&W on the corner there in Canmore.
As one does.
Great brewery in Canmore. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in Canmore. And Mike was okay. Mike kind of put Canmore on the map.
That's why it's such a secondary resort hub?
I think so. I think it's because of Mike from Canmore from either Royal Canadian Air Force or This Hour is 22 minutes.
So it unintentionally had great consequences.
Is this hour of 22 minutes, is that still a thing?
I think it is.
It is, eh?
It was really, I always enjoyed it. The Beaverton was also pretty good.
Yeah, was the Beaverton a show or was it just like I thought it was just an account on like Twitter or something.
I think it was a show. Was it not like the Canadian version of the Daily Show, sort of? Like it was a news desk.
I really don't. This sounds
bad,
but I don't consume a lot of Canadian television.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
And we are on Canadian television.
It's kind of tough, but I just don't watch a lot of it.
I don't watch a lot of television.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah. Alabama guy says, just got back from Canmore. Grizzly Paw is elite. Yeah, Grizzly Paw Brewing.
Very good. I had it
we had them in, they were in on Beer of the Week, I think in January.
They're in Jasper, are they not, as well?
Grizzly Paw?
Yeah.
I think Grizzly Paw is like that big yellow brewery in Canmore. I don't know, are they also, I don't know much about Jasper.
Or am I thinking of Jasper Brewing?
No, there's another one there, Jasper Brewing, I think is the one you're thinking of.
What is the Grizzly thing that is the coffee shop?
That's the one around the corner that you can get. Tammy loves going there for coffee.
Yeah.
Right at the end, right across from that small parking lot.
That's the one.
That's the one. I know the one you're talking about.
When Edmonton would have, or the Oilers would have rookie camp in Jasper, we would always go to that coffee stop.
It's a cool little place. And it's busy too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Yep.
Oh, what a nice little reminiscing about mountain communities. Hey, what a way to start the Oils
We
today.
are privileged in our province to have
Let's bring on Hernan Salas here. He's sitting over there. Nanso, how'd you survive post-game last night, buddy?
It was good, man.
He was hot to start.
Oh, of course he's hot to start. Of course he should be hot to start.
He was hot?
Yeah.
What frustrated you the most last night, Nanso? Not about post-game, but about the game itself.
The nuclear option.
Oh,
and
man.
it's getting old real quick. And listen, I'm not reading lines anymore on my show because it's pointless.
That's a fair point.
Like seriously, like it took him 22 minutes to go to it off a fluky goal and you're down 1-0. That's it.
You're still in a tight game.
Like it's just Knob looks lost too, man. Like I heard I heard it on our show, obviously, but then I reheard it on your show, and I was like, damn, this guy he doesn't even know what to say anymore.
It's kind of talking in circles a little bit last night.
That's how we described it last night, right?
Yeah, it really was. Man, Nanso, it's even better hearing you fired up when I can't see your head. I just see like his shoulders, and I just hear this fire, this Latino heat.
He has this thing about the shot where I'm like, Nanso, square yourself up. He's like, I can't, bro. He's like, I don't have this camera and this. And I'm like, okay, just whatever you're comfortable
his chair, right? Like
that's what
it's tough. Yeah, it leans you ahead. Zedmo says he smoked a full pack in the post game.
No, I wish.
JPS, John Player Specials, the black.
You know what? If they miss the playoffs, I do want that final post game of the year to be Hernan smoking in the corner. Like, we'll deal with. I mean, I don't know if I don't even think there's alarms in this building.
Open the window.
So.
There's no way they're not making the playoffs, guys.
No, well, they're closer to what is it? Even split now? 7 out of the 7 into the playoffs, 7 behind Vegas.
Yeah, you guys, just imagine, just for a second, if they lose tonight.
No thanks.
Oh, well, they could definitely lose tonight. I don't need to imagine that.
It's very hard that they'll lose.
Your post. You think so? You're messing with me.
No, what do you mean? They got to win.
The Islanders have a good goalie. They've got a good blue line.
Can they score more than 2 goals? Because that's all Edmonton seems to get. Lately.
Canmore's probably back in.
Oh, great. Great. And Jones would come out, right?
Probably.
Good, because I got Kapanen on that no-score parlay.
Did
you hear this?
He played 4 minutes.
Yeah. He's got to come out.
The no-score parlay. I heard you get excited when Pete Greggy and Jake Bowen-Moss let you know that yes,
when they're like, yes, you can do it. Because a couple of those guys weren't even on the boards. And we got it at plus 300. So
I'd sprinkle on that.
He almost scored yesterday. He had a good look down the wing.
What is this, horseshoes?
Yeah,
I mean, who cares if they almost scored? Like for the parlay, it's Arvidsson, Podkolzin, Henrique, Brown, and Kapanen, all not to record a point.
I'd put $5 on that.
At plus 300. So yeah,
you
put
right now,
put $5 on it, you win 15.
I can make $15 easy.
I think so. 780-218-9999. Hernan, what are you more frustrated with right now? The Oilers going to the nuclear line last night,
you're gonna say.
Or losing 28-7 on Tecmo this morning?
Ooh. I could hear you guys when we were doing the hangout.
Back to the Oiler game.
Do you think they start nuclear tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, they will, won't they?
It doesn't matter.
No, because
it'll take 10 minutes for it to get together. And enough with after a PK, we're gonna go nuclear.
I'm done with that too.
How's it work?
How often does that work right now?
It has worked in the past. To Knobloch's right, it has worked, but there's a frustration point that we're at collectively here. Clearly.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Give this man a cigarette, please.
Somebody get this guy a smoke.
Slim Menthol 100.
Demoriate, please.
Yeah, well, whatever. But we're at a point now where it doesn't matter. Like, as soon as you see him revert to McDavid, Draisaitl, and whoever, it's just like, oh, here we go again. What about the other guys? They don't matter.
But that's what it is that they don't matter. Like, that's why coming off of a penalty kill all the time, it's like, well, put those guys out there. The rest of the team's like, oh, I guess I'm not important enough to help in any way right after a penalty kill. Like, it's just like...
And Henrique said in his postgame, well, we got to step up here. I think he has 4 points in his last 22 games or something I saw online or something like that. He's been terrible. Few things, guys. Mm-hmm. It's funny. It's funny that Trent Frederick seems like the savior now. Everybody's like, oh, just wait till Trent Frederick gets in the lineup.
Unnecessary pressure.
And on a side note, Dusty, let me know what you want for the lock shop. You just text me, buddy.
Oh, you done it again.
Yeah. But at least I asked you on air, and I didn't do some weird
You did ask me on air.
My wager has been placed on the EST parlay today.
Did you get in on it?
Oh, yeah.
Tommy, welcome aboard.
I love
everybody else hop on the parlay,
so it's
too.
Kapanen, no points?
It's everybody. Podkolzin, Henrique, Brown, and Kapanen, all
5 of them.
Not to record a point at plus 300.
You know what happened yesterday's parlay? McDavid screwed me. Draisaitl goal.
Yeah.
Bouchard point.
Yes.
Kapanen no points. and McDavid 3 shots. And he had 2 shots. Just a real kick in the balls.
He had that one at the side of the net where he had a lane, or is it Nugent Hopkins? And they just went around.
Well, they're winning now with that parlay.
Well, I put $5 on it.
They could still win. And if those guys, they could get 3 power play goals tonight. Those guys don't get a sniff.
I will gladly take a crisp 20 electronically if they don't make it happen.
That'd be good.
I feel
good job, boys. I'm out.
Yeah, see you later, Nanso.
Okay, bye.
He'll be back with EST Afternoon. Save some of that Latino heat for EST Afternoons today. Gager's been in here pacing for 3 hours, too. The boys are fired up. EST Afternoons is going to be great today. What was I going to say?
Would it have to do with
no, it was I'm sick and tired of calling them the nuclear line because they really haven't gone nuclear in quite some time.
Like what
Did you see what I said?
Yeah.
Somebody said the last resort line, and then I said let's call them the Papa Roach line.
You were doing the lyrics with Eric,
yeah,
and I'm like, that's the next EST song.
That's what we were thinking.
I think
this is our last resort. Don't give up. There's something there.
I mean, you and Eric,
it's a
in like 30 seconds, came up with the first 2 lines, or 3 lines of the song.
Yeah, I think maybe there's something there. Like if it continues to trend in this poor direction, then maybe we do have to write a last resort song, Papa Roach parody.
Tremendous. I mean, I get annoyed by the DRS song, and then the more I listen to it. You get annoyed
by DRS?
Yeah, I hate that because it's from Beauty and the Beast, right?
Yeah, did you not like Beauty and the Beast? A classic.
I didn't.
I thought
it was
a romantic like yourself would have loved Beauty and the Beast.
Real romantic.
And I'll gets to hook up with a lot of good women. I mean,
oh, ouch!
Sorry, Tommy. I was just.
You guys are calling me the best looking guy here.
That being said, he was a handsome prince.
He certainly was.
And you're our handsome prince, Tommy.
Thank you.
You were chosen as the most good-looking guy on the staff. Hernan, I picked you as second best looking.
Because he's Rico Suave.
You need to get your prescriptions checked out there.
No, I think the rest of us aren't that attractive. I think that's probably
by default.
you're number 2 by default. All right, 780-218-9999.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're a handsome man. You suck at Tecmo, but you're a handsome man.
Oh.
All right. Tommy, so post game last night.
Yeah.
You know what? I will say this. I thought it was refreshing. And I was over there stirring things up a bit. By the way, shout out Dylan Holloway, 21st goal of the year. Had to let him go because it was going to cost you just over $2 million. I'm going to try. I might rant on that a bit today. I mean,
As you should.
But it didn't seem like it was just, Bouchard and Skinner suck last night in the postgame, right? Like their team is struggling so much right now that nobody's even singling out those two guys.
No,
which
that's
is kind
a
of
good
nice
point
to see for once.
And again, we're not defending Stu Skinner, but there were so many other things that are glaringly obvious and painfully up front with this group right now. I almost slipped this into the postgame last night. I think Evan Bouchard actually had an okay night. I'll be honest. I thought he had an okay night.
You're a Bouchard lover.
Evidently. Yeah, put me in that. But I didn't love the goals that Skinner let in. I do recognize and fully accept that it would be nice if your guys picked up the opponents in front. And I said it too, because we talk about how the Oilers have smaller forwards, slower forwards, guys who can't, impose their will physically on the opposition's defenseman. And that's true. But you just watch a New Jersey Devils team that kind of has similar forwards outside of Timo Meier out-muscle and outwork bigger defensemen in front of Stu Skinner effectively to the point where they scored a couple of goals that way. The first one that Pesce scored, I think, was a set piece off the faceoff. But the Jesper Bratt one, a couple guys in front. Not the biggest guys, but a couple guys in front. The Nemec goal, it was Nico Hischier working Brett Kulak. Nico Hischier's my size.
Yeah, you can't get that guy out of there? Come on.
I could get him out of there.
Yeah.
That's obviously a very large hyperbole.
Yeah, but he's not a big intimidating. This is not Tom Wilson parked in front of the net.
He's not a power forward. No, and it goes back to what we discussed last night, the willingness to compete, the will to win, the determination to do everything you can to try to beat the opposition. And right now, that spark, that desire, that burning fire, it's not there with the Oilers. And a good example was some of those plays last night where a smaller, skilled Devils forward group did that stuff effectively, and they won. Jesper Bratt is like Leon Draisaitl versus the Nashville Predators. Jesper Bratt is that to the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
5 points in 2 games.
Yeah, not bad for a 6th-round pick. Jesper Bratt's been just an absolutely wonderful player who they have developed and didn't let a team sign away to an offer sheet right when it looked like he was about to pop.
Yep.
So that worked out well for them. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Oh, Big Dave's got a rant. We'll get into that. Lots of text messages are already flying in. We'll get into those as well. Doesn't sign text guy says Dusty buys everyone at BP's a tanker tonight if Pickard gets the shutout. I don't know about that. I mean, that'd be a lot of people. It's going to be packed. Boston Pizza, Westgate tonight. Pre-game show gets rolling when?
4:30.
I'll probably be rolling in around 5 and try to catch a bit of a snooze. And
Hernan's going to be there for the pre-game.
Is he? I was thinking of driving and just having one drink and then going home. But I might just take an Uber over and get into some double spice tonight. And
you bad boy.
See what happens.
Oh,
Why not?
Feeling nice.
Why not? I think they have shots on special during the game. So
Norman at Combine loves, and Tony too from BP. It's the peanut butter whiskey. It tastes great.
I don't like my peanut butter to taste like alcohol.
But to me, it doesn't taste like peanut butter. It's called peanut butter whiskey, but it doesn't taste like peanut butter. To me, it doesn't.
So it's just a horrible name?
It's an odd name for something that I think it's just it tastes good, but
I think it's going to be busy there tonight, though. The guys, it's going to be it's going to be pretty packed house tonight. Boston Pizza Westgate. So make sure you have plans to join us. They're going to have a ton of prizes and everything, and a bunch of the hockey crew will be there. And we're very much looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So why go to McDavid and Draisaitl you outshot them 8-5 in the first? Yeah, you fell behind 1-0, but why? Like, to me, that's when you start to look at a coach that doesn't have faith in anyone else when it's a 1-0 game.
You said it.
And you're like McDavid and Draisaitl together.
You said it.
Right? Like that. Is that not that? That's not even us trying to read into it. That's just what it was. Because why would you not be like, guys? Like, why would you not look at that bench and go, hey, I have faith in all the line combinations we put out to start the game. We're not playing poorly so far. Keep things going. Instead, you got the other 9 guys watching those 3 guys go over the board and be like, oh, well, I get, I don't know.
Filler.
Yeah. Like,
that's how I called. That's what I called them on the.
Yeah, well, that's got to be, and we talked about this with other coaches. It's just, I get it if it's like you're down 2 and there's 9 minutes left and you're like, hey, let's put the 2 best players in the league together. At that point, the rest of your team wouldn't feel like a bunch of leftovers. But at that stage, you're like, man, it's a 1-0 game. Just play through it. Like, allow the entire group as a group to face some adversity and try to push through it, especially with the spot that they're in right now. And it's just like, it was too quick. It was too quick. And that's when I'm like, man, I think Knobloch's running out of options here. And that's bad news.
And you said it earlier in the show, but in his post game, he was talking in circles. And I think that's a perfect example of where he's at, or that goes to what you're saying is he doesn't have any more answers. And we expected it too. That's where it's also at. Like, as soon as there was some sort of adversity, we expected the crutch, the last resort, the nuclear option. And I even heard Gazdick drop it on the broadcast, and I think he got it from us or whoever else is. Maybe the articles.
A lot of people.
Yeah. But it got to the national level where it's like, well, it's not even a good thing anymore, but it's a conundrum. I almost expect it like right away. We're at the point, Dustin, where they can roll lines and we could talk about lines and people want combinations, but there's no point. We're just wasting breath.
Because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's messed up.
Well, what's even more concerning is that you're going to something that hasn't been that great this season.
I know.
Right? Like, it's not like every time you go to it, it's like, oh, it's magic. And they're up 3-2. Like, that's not how it's been. So if you do that too much, you're going to lose the entire group. And it's not sitting here being like, yeah, but these guys are playing well. Like, play Henrique more. I understand it. But like last night, I think only the 4 players who play on the power play for forwards had more than 15 minutes in the game. Everybody else was like, Max Jones played 4 minutes, obviously had a mistake that pissed his coach off. Yeah, man, I just don't know. Like, I don't know if it's proper to say Knobloch's running out of answers, but I feel like he's starting to run short on solutions. And it's just like, put those guys together.
A couple months ago, he did have solutions. He hit the right buttons, and it was clicking, and it was working. It's changed in the last month and a half, 100%. Total 180. I get that. We recognize it. Another example of where Knobloch, on top of the talking in circles, where I think he's just scratching his head and shrugging his shoulders and going, what the hell is going on? He talked about Henrique, Arvidsson, and Skinner, I think, creating some chaos in front of Jake Allen. And I was like, well, he's talking about something positive, but they didn't really. It was very dangerous.
Limited. It was limited chaos.
It was a stretch, and I'm like, you're grasping at straws, and he really, like, he had like a 1 minute answer about that, and that's long for a response generally. And I was like, those weren't great chances, were they? Like, did I miss something? Because I watched the replays, and like there was a shot from the point, Allen saved it, kind of bobbled in front of him, and then like Henrique might have like got a whack on one, and then it just kind of trickled through everybody's skates, and that was it. And then another one, I talked about it, and I'll bring it up again. Jeff Skinner, good job like getting open, and the Oilers finding him at the side of the net, but he dusted it off lost it, dusted it off again, lost it, had enough time to even back up because it went into his skates, and then eventually had to button hook around and try to find a pass. But like it went from a high danger opportunity that he fumbled to a potentially high danger opportunity that he fumbled again, to the point where it became a situation where they might lose the puck, all within like 3 seconds. And I'm going, did Chris Knobloch remember that Jeff Skinner part where he like bobbled it right beside the front of the net? And that's what we're pointing out as a positive, is like that line had a couple of
that is what he's pointing out as a positive.
Light scrambles in front.
He starts that line tonight, right? Like not starts the game, but do you think he goes with those guys?
He spoke in a way that would suggest that he would like to see more.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
and it's like, oh, all right. I hope you're right. I mean, I would benefit monetarily if none of those guys get points tonight. So, double-edged sword.
I mean, there is a weird world where we live in for everybody who's on the cool bet parlay tonight. That
it's a bit twisted.
The Oilers, even if they win, but let's just say they lose like 3-1, and we cash a parlay, and there's a massive cheer at the bar at the end of the game.
Everybody's
like,
in.
What is going on in Edmonton right now? So yeah, but you can find that parlay. Go to coolbet.com, click on exclusives, and it is the no points parlay. Arvidsson, Podkolzin, Henrique, Connor Brown, and Kapanen all to not get a point tonight at plus 300. I felt okay putting Kapanen in there because if Matthias Janmark can go, it'll be Jones coming out. I would think Kapanen
probably
still plays and Matthias Janmark gets in
there. Pardon me. Kasperi Kapanen and his 38.2% on the faceoffs.
Playing center.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's not like he's a team worst minus 16.
Oh, wait a second.
Come on, man. Great waiver claim.
Mm-hmm.
Paying that guy $1 million, but you let Holloway walk to the Blues for just over 2. Tough one. Like, that's the one. I know it's always nitpicking and stuff, sure, but that's not even a hindsight thing. Like, when they didn't match on Holloway when it happened, everybody was like, why wouldn't you match on that guy? Like,
I still don't get it.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, yeah, it was more than you wanted to pay him, but it was almost like, well, if you're not going to accept what we want to pay you, then screw you. You can leave. I mean, you cannot, especially a president and guy who's managing the GM stuff at the time, and then Bowman. Those guys just got like, you can't just try to come in and
steal the show,
big dick the situation, and let a guy you develop go take off and bury 20 with the Blues. And I know people say, well, you wouldn't get the opportunity. However,
wait a sec.
Outside of being on the power play, one, because nobody on this team is good enough to play on the power play, apparently, outside of the top group. He would have, you're telling me, like, he wouldn't be beside Leon Draisaitl the entire season? Come on. What are we doing here?
Well, Podkolzin played for most of the season with Leon Draisaitl, which is ridiculous. And Arvidsson and Skinner clearly haven't worked out. I know we didn't anticipate that, and Holloway would have to, quote unquote, earn his progression through the lineup, but I think he played well enough to get that bump up pretty quickly this season. Had he stayed here, I think he would have been just fine. And I think he eventually would have wound his way up into the top 6. We had a pretty good understanding that there would be no Evander Kane for the start of the season. We didn't know he'd be out completely for the regular season. So, yeah, I think Dylan Holloway would have eventually found himself in the top 6 and likely stayed in the top 6. And, we try to convince ourselves collectively again that Vasily Podkolzin was a suitable top 6 left winger. The answer is no. Never was a yes. He teased you with like a couple goals in a short window of time, but it is ridiculous. And the other thing, too, I was going to add just on this, here's the cherry on top. Power play 2 doesn't exist anymore. They don't even get like 25
seconds.
It's power play 1.5 that goes out. And you know what that is? 2 defensemen and Corey Perry go with Leon and Connor.
Yeah.
That's power play 1.5. There's no power play 2. It's over.
Yeah.
They just put Leon and Connor with 3 other guys.
It is, I mean...
It was Nurse, Wallman, and Perry that went out there with Leon and Connor.
It's kind of getting Tippett-ish. Isn't it? Like, it's
100%.
Right? And then when Woodcroft came in, he was like, we're going to give these guys, and then the Derek Ryan interview, like, it's starting to be too much, I think, on those guys. Like, anyway, 780-218-9999. We've got lots to get to. As somebody pointed out, I don't know if it was the troll or somebody, but like, You can't call something. Nobody drops a nuclear bomb every 3 days. Like if it's a nuclear option, you need it once.
Yeah.
Like we can't keep referring to this line as the nuclear line because you just don't. It's just you can't. You got to move along.
Is it a grenade now?
I mean, it's like what's the gun with the wide thing on it and a grenade
bazooka,
launcher?
Grenade launcher. Is it a perhaps cannon? Artillery? It's been downgraded severely.
At this point, it's like a pellet gun. The Liquid Beaver says, just my opinion. I think 29 and 97 have too much say in who they play with. The worst part is who they want on their lines isn't working. Example, Nuge with McDavid and Podkolzin with Draisaitl.
Those guys are going to have... I don't think they meddle all the time that much.
Cass kind of laid it out yesterday. Like, why hasn't Skinner played with McDavid?
They tried it one game. It lasted a period.
Well, that's what I mean.
I remember we interviewed him, and he's like, yeah, just got to play fast, get in the spot to be open. He said everything that every other forward
So
that
why
gets
would a
chance,
coach not go back to that at all?
doesn't trust the guy. Doesn't like what he's doing.
But
has a slant against him.
But you wouldn't play him again for a couple of games with Connor McDavid when your team, like, I don't know. It seems weird to me that they haven't come back around. What'd you say? 1 period?
1 period.
So you go out, you sacrifice Dylan Holloway because you didn't want to pay him. Give Jeff Skinner $3 million. He's only a top 6 forward. He's not a bottom 6 forward. He never has been. He never will be. You played him with Draisaitl. You healthy scratched him. You won't play him with Connor McDavid again ever because of 1 period? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like we don't know it doesn't work. We just haven't seen it.
Yeah. That's fair. Totally fair.
All right, let's get to, where was that? Was it Big Dave that had that text?
Big Dave had
lots of text messages today. Keep them coming in. If you're watching over on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up for us. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. We would appreciate that. Yeah, let's smash some thumbs up here. We're 58 away from 100. We should be getting through that today. Corey B says, we're getting in one tonight, fellas.
Oh, uh-oh.
We got to play hockey at noon tomorrow, you know?
Corey B texted in yesterday that he's like, a silver lining. The clouds are clearing, and I'm going to go and stare at the moon.
Oh, that's nice, Corey
beautiful.
B.
Now he's probably
I don't know if Corey B even plays hockey, but he got equipment at Totem.
Yeah.
And he's coming to play with us.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it should be good.
Corey B, attaboy.
I remember one year we went to a tournament in Kelowna. Rec league team, me and the Godfather and his brother Lee, and I think it might have been the Banff tournament. I think it was the Banff tournament was a good time too. But the Kelowna tournament, the next day we had one guy on the wing, like the face-off went, he couldn't even move.
Jeez.
He got so messed up that he just stood there. We're like, hey, go back to the bench, man. Like, thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
It was. I'm not saying that's what it's to be tomorrow. I'm just saying. No. That's why I'm saying just don't get too crazy tonight. We got a game tomorrow. I mean, Zach's got 2 penalty shots.
I know. Shout out to
and you have a penalty, I guess.
Yeah, I'll take it. I can't even yell at Brett.
I might pay for myself to get a penalty shot.
Why not?
I'm going to see how good the goalie is.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to bring a couple $50 bills. And if the goalie's not that good, I'm going to give Brett a 50 and say, I'll take a penalty shot right now, sir.
Yes, sir.
That'd be fun. All right, here's Big Dave. This is a long text. Hey, boys, I have a bit of a rant. I know lots of people are losing their... Oh, maybe this is a positive... What? Oh, how about this? Oh, maybe not. Anyway, I'll read it.
Let's read it.
Hey, boys, I have a bit of a rant. I know lots of people are losing their minds about the state of the Oilers right now, and I get it. I've been staying positive about it. No. But after last night's game, I was watching the highlights from other games, and I saw Allmark making a huge save. Max Domi going out of his mind and getting in fights. And it became as apparent as ever how much heart this team lacks. And it starts from the coaching and the leadership group and bleeds through the whole lineup. This team has been labeled as having a quiet leadership group for years. And no matter what the roster has been over the past few years or who has been behind the bench, it's been the same peak and valley style of play. They have success when they're rolling, but when they're bad, they are the worst. You can't change the coach, and the roster is locked in. But could someone, coach or GM or owner or whomever, pull this leadership group aside and get them to step up or step down? Can they strip the letters and give these guys something internally to fight for and see who actually gives a shit about this team and where they are heading? Something needs to be shaken up, and I can't think of what else could be done. Big Dave, What a well-written, spelling error-free text message from Big Dave. Yeah.
That's a bonus. Big Dave with the big text. The owner thing, the owner puts heat on this group a lot.
Does he?
Oh, yeah. He wants to win every game at all costs. And I'm not saying that to defend or to besmirch. I just know that he is very intense when it comes to this team having success. Obviously, bottom line, when it comes to money, success helps. It wants a Stanley Cup. Absolutely. But you have to be careful because you don't want too much meddling. You don't want too much anger and frustration. You don't want to be calling your GM and CEO or president of hockey ops all the time. Why the F is this happening? Why the F isn't this happening? Because that can create pressure and that can creep down and find its way onto the bench. And so there's a fine line there as well. And I know the owner gets very upset when the team is losing, to the point where we just witnessed Chris Knobloch surpass Jay Woodcroft in games coached behind the Oilers bench. And I think he's now ninth.
Nice. Yeah, didn't you guys go over that?
I went over. He might even be higher than that at 134 games. We went and looked at the New Jersey Devils / Colorado Rockies / Kansas City Scouts coaching record and all-time coaches. And like that was not a great franchise for a very long time, until the 90s of Jacques Lemaire. They had a million they had like 38 coaches, I think it was. Don Cherry was in there.
They had 38? No.
I think so, yeah.
No way.
I'll look it up again. But
okay.
The fact that Chris Knobloch has just reached 134 games, passing Jay Woodcroft's 133. Jay Woodcroft, 643 winning percentage. Chris Knobloch, 653.
So almost identical.
Yeah. The next up, I think Teddy Green is at 160, but then he's at 171 is Dave Tippett. The shelf life of coaches in this era of Edmonton Oilers hockey, let's call it the last decade and a bit, is very small.
Very, very small. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Oh, computer just glitched.
Okay, I have it here.
Okay.
Yeah, John Muckler 160. Tom Rennie got 164. He's 7th. Dave Tippett 6th at 171. So it's Muckler at 160. Teddy Green's at 188. So Slats, Mac T, Ronnie Lowe, 1, 2, 3. 842 for Slats, 653 for Mac T. Ronnie Lowe at 341. Fourth place all times in games coached. Todd McClellan, 3.5 seasons, not even. He got fired in November of the 18-19 season, if I recall correctly. 266. Then Teddy Green, 188. Dave Tippett, 6th all time in games coached in Oilers history, 171. Tom Rennie, 164. John Muckler, 160. Chris Knobloch, 9th at 134, having just surpassed Jay Woodcroft yesterday, who had 133. And in 11th, Dallas Aikens at 113. A good chunk of those guys have been in the last decade.
Yeah, they rotate through coaches like crazy. That's why, like, we'll see where this goes this year. Okay, maybe it ends in a second round playoff loss. Aiden Hill just got a new deal. We'll discuss that here as well when we get to our spicy headlines. But let's say they do play the Kings, and the Kings are great at home, and Los Angeles beats them in the first round. You know, people here in the market will be calling for changes at management.
Of course.
They'll be calling for changes at coaches. Some of it will certainly be justified, and I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, you can't say that. But I will, like, a bit of a reality check here, in that you just can't be the organization that switches it up every 2 years. Like, I don't think that's where you want to go.
It shouldn't be that way.
I want to say I don't think they will, but like, to me, and I was never like, when, there were other people in this market who spoke more highly and advocated for Knobloch than a lot of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been like a huge Knobloch guy. I thought he did a phenomenal job last year when he took over in a tough spot, and obviously he went on a great run. But to me, the struggles of this team now are more on Jeff Jackson than they are on Chris Knobloch. But Jackson just got the reins of the organization, and it was McDavid's fault. Like, he's not. I guess what I'm saying here is a preemptive. You're going to need extreme patience in the offseason if you're one of the people who are like,
that's not a word.
Blow this up, because that's not going to happen. Just saying. You're going to need to. It's going to be frustrating for many of you, but you're probably going to need to chill.
The Winnipeg Jets ran it back with minor changes. Now, Rick Bowness stepped down. Scott Arniel stepped up as head coach. Arniel was an assistant there, so it was very much, there's a lineage there and connection. So not a huge change. Sure, a bit of a difference, but they didn't blow up the roster. They kept it. Cheveldayoff kept it together.
They didn't barely change anything.
Exactly, and they are running away and probably going to be the President's Trophy winners this year. Now, there is the Golden Knights who have rolled through Pete DeBoer. Who did they have? Turk. Their first.
Oh, geez.
Why is his name eluding me?
Gallant.
Gerard Gallant, yeah. So they had Gerard Gallant. He lasted 2 and a bit. Pete DeBoer lasted a couple years. And then I think now, oh, God, how am I forgetting?
Cassidy.
Bruce Cassidy.
I'm looking at him here. So Gallant was 17 to 20.
Yeah.
So that was like 4 years.
Okay.
Won a Jack Adams.
Took him to a cup final.
Did coach 213 games, which is a full season more than Woodcroft.
Yes.
Pete DeBoer from 2020 to 2022, 160 games. And then Cassidy now is at 164.
So he's chasing Turk. Gerard Gallant.
Has a Stanley. I don't think he's got 655 winning percentage. I mean,
it's pretty good.
But I mean, they won.
Yeah.
They've been
good. They've been good. They did miss the playoffs under Cassidy. Was it not Cassidy that they missed, or was that the last year
Cassidy's
of DeBoer?
rolling a 655. It must have been DeBoer.
They missed in 22.
So that was when the DeBoer went to 2022. Cassidy started in 2022.
Okay, so the first year under Cassidy.
Yeah.
That's right. But they were in their 6th season, and they were at their 3rd head coach, basically, which seemed extreme. And there's an owner that demands a lot, is on top of it. I think George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon are also pretty cutthroat too. And that has proven positive. It works. And listen, I know it's different going to Vegas than going to Edmonton for many reasons, but that's that cutthroat approach, and it worked. But then you look at the Winnipeg Jets using the patience, and it's working really good right now.
I mean, I think the other thing that you would have to look at if we're going to compare the two sort of situations, Woodcroft had never been a head coach. Knobloch had never been a head coach.
In the NHL.
But Vegas had guys who had been head coaches in the NHL.
Correct.
And I think that's a big difference too.
That's a good point.
Mean, you're throwing in guys who've never been there before, and at least these other guys come in with a track record.
Yep.
Right?
And a good track record.
Yeah, and the Oilers hired guys who didn't. So, I mean, McClellan and Tippett did, but the last two guys have not. All right, 780-218-9999. This show is flying by here today. Keep those text messages coming in. I promise you we'll try to get to a few more of those. Haji says, probably a unpopular take, but I believe the biggest mistake the Oilers made in the offseason was letting Holland go. Say what you want about the guy, and he definitely made some mistakes, but I believe he's the best GM the Oilers have had since Slats. The dude brought us all the way to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, and we didn't find a way to keep him. Also, the Holloway Broberg debacle likely wouldn't have happened.
Haji, good point. And I don't disagree with you at all. I think that Kenny Holland was legit, brought way more positive than negative. Did he have some swings and misses? Of course. But, if Kenny Holland was still here, hypothetical, obviously, you wouldn't have had the Broberg and Holloway situation. Broberg was Kenny Holland's first draft pick here.
Through some rough times, he managed to navigate that.
Yeah. Keith Gretzky really liked Philip Broberg. Dylan Holloway was also one of their guys. The connection to Doug Armstrong that Ken Holland has. You don't think those guys talked? And Kenny was like, yeah, those two young players, I think they're ready. Should go and offer sheet them or Doug Armstrong. I'm just spitballing what was said. And I know Doug Armstrong made that comment. He's like, if my mother was the GM of the, I'd still do it.
Yeah.
That's, great fodder, great clip, but this situation and predicament likely probably wouldn't exist. And they gave him his 5 years and they're ready to move on. And the kicker is a lot of fans of the team were fed up with him and couldn't stand him and wanted him gone. So I'm reminding people that, because how many times, Dusty, would we come on here and we'd read texts being like, Kenny Holland this, Kenny Holland, go back to the guide and record book. So not everybody wanted to keep him around from the fan base. Which tells you where the opinions are. It's all over the map.
All right, 780-218-9999 is where you can get in. Aiden Hill got a new deal. 6 years, 6.25 per, I believe, to stay in Vegas. I guess I'll ask the obvious question. How, if any way, does this impact Stuart Skinner's next deal with the Edmonton Oilers?
Aiden Hill is proof that a guy or a goalie like Stu Skinner can win. Because I remember talking about Aiden Hill when he was getting bounced around San Jose and Arizona before he wound up in Vegas and saying, there's a guy you could probably go get. Now, I'm totally slanted in my opinion because I know him and I like him and I want to see him have success. And I'm glad he got that deal. Very happy for him. But that probably provides a bit of an idea or sets the bar for, the high end of where Skinner could go.
So if Hill is at 6.25,
Skinner has to come in below that.
Yeah, yeah.
Has to.
I'm not saying does Skinner get a 5 on his next, is he
4.5?
Yeah, I think that might be where it has to be.
This season is not doing him anything.
I know many people be like, you guys nuts, you shouldn't even get another deal. I understand I know you'd be freaking out about it, but I'm just saying, in the whole comparison conversation, I think he's got to come in at least $1 million less than Aiden Hill. But if you want to chime in, 780-218-9999. Vegas keeping a goalie around for a little bit. This one came in on Twitter and says 3 years, maybe 3.5 per year. It would keep the goaltending affordable if you like that. All right, and then did you see Rick Westhead on Stan Bowman yesterday afternoon?
This is the subpoena thing. Yeah. Somebody texted in last night about it. And I'm like,
you guys are busy in a post game last night. You don't need to worry about that. All right, so here, and it comes from Scott Powers, an article by Scott Powers, who covers the Chicago Blackhawks. Rick Westhead, this is your Popeyes headlines. If you're looking to get, if you're like, oh man, I only got $4 plus a little bit more money for tax. Go hit up the value menu at Popeyes at lunchtime. Mini chicken sandwich, mini chicken wrap, 5 nugs, blackened cauliflower, fried pickles.
Nice.
Those are the 5 options for just $4. Look at Zach over there. Zach loves, hey, nice Grey Cup champion shirt. Do you find that thrifting?
You know it, buddy.
Grey Cup 103.
Yeah, I don't know what year that was.
2015.
That was 2015. That was the last time they won in Winnipeg.
Much older. It looks pretty worn in.
Yeah,
so
no, it's a nice
How does that look?
How much would you pay for a shirt like that when you're out thrifting?
No more than $6.
Wow.
I know.
Not bad.
Probably at least $30 or $40 brand new.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Saving money.
You are a thrift champion.
He is. All right, so Rick Westhead tweets this out yesterday. Former Chicago Blackhawks general manager Stan Bowman has filed a court motion to quash a subpoena for him to be deposed in a lawsuit filed by a former Blackhawks player referred to as John Doe. Bowman, who is now the Edmonton Oilers GM, argued that he was not properly served the subpoena because his home is in Edmonton and the court does not have personal jurisdiction over him because he's a resident and citizen of Canada. John Doe, a former Blackhawks player, is suing the team for failing to act when informed of sexual assault allegations against video coach Brad Aldridge during the 2010 Stanley Cup playoffs. Blackhawks obviously had previously settled a case with former player Kyle Beach, and now this is the next John Doe who is up here. They were trying to get Stan Bowman to come and be deposed in this lawsuit, and he is now filing a motion to say that they can't get him because he lives in Edmonton and they have no jurisdiction over him because he's a resident and citizen of Canada. So weird story. I don't know the legal background of this to know, like, does this mean that he's just completely dodging it, or he's like, you have to
he's
go
trying to
through,
get out of
or
it.
It sounds like he's trying to get out of it,
Yeah.
which is what it looks like. But it's just a step where they can file the subpoena in a different way through like Canadian channels, and then they can, or is like he hiding in Edmonton and being like, you can't get me up here.
I'm assuming
can't
he's
be
on the
deposed
road.
by this. Like,
yeah. Well, you hear like remember Pineapple Express, where Seth Rogen's character is the guy that
Yeah. He was
the papers.
HR Daddy did that. He
HR
does that
Daddy
bit
did
on the
that?
side. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
He doesn't dress up in costumes and stuff, but he serves people papers.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
Yeah.
pleasant.
A process server.
Process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, I understand not wanting to deal with all of that because that is a crap sandwich and a half. And he has there's a legal process, and he's a lawyer, and like I get it, and he's dealt with a lot. It cost him 3 years in the National Hockey League, so I understand that. Now, does it look good for the Oilers?
I mean,
no, not
it
really.
doesn't
but,
look good.
I mean, we can rehash what we said when they hired him in the offseason. It was unnecessary. I still stand by that. They didn't need to hire Stan Bowman. That's what we said the day they hired. We came here from the press conference, and I was just like, I don't get it. They didn't need to bring him in. And now, this situation pops up again. I honestly don't have.
That's why I'm just wondering, is he saying,
good.
no, I don't want to do this, or legally you can't serve me here? And is there another way that he can be served and actually go and be deposed on this? Or is he just like they want him to talk and he's like, no, I'm not talking anymore.
That might be it. And he's trying to do it through the legal process. Again, not a lawyer, don't know how it all works, but if I was fed up with something and figure I said everything that I had to say and gave all the information that I had to say, and I'm exhausted from it, I'd probably be inclined to feel the same way he does. But I don't, again, not knowing the law and how it all works. If you need to be there and the laws.
That's the story. That's what Westwood has tweeted.
Yeah.
We're not going to dive into it too much further, simply because we don't know if this is the end all and be all, or if it's a step in the process and go some other route. But it's not a great look.
It's a headache.
Anytime Westwood is tweeting about somebody, it's not a good look on you. It's not a good look. Tim over in the chat says, does Bowman travel with the team? Surely a popcorn attendant at a U.S. arena could show up and serve him.
That's a great
the old
point.
trickaroo,
oh yeah,
here you go, sir. Like he's in the press box in Chicago or something, and goes to open up to grab a drink, and it's just sitting there. And as soon as you see it, he's like, "You're served."
Well,
gotcha.
Not to give ideas to process
servers.
Yeah. You can have a letter mailed to you at hotels, or you can have packages sent to you at the rink, or there's many clever ways where you could serve it, but yeah, dude, I don't know. I do have a great story about something like that, though.
Really? About process?
Craig McTavish told me about, yeah.
Okay.
When that brawl happened in Manhattan at MSG, where it was a Terry O'Reilly.
Oh, way back in the day.
When he went into the stands and beat the guy with the fan with his own shoe. They had a guy the next time they were in Boston, process server.
Yeah.
Come up to the team bus after the game.
Pretend to get an autograph?
No, he said, hey, I'm here to serve these subpoenas. And whoever the coach was said, he might have been Harry Sinden, was like, yeah, okay, but that guy's sitting in the back and you got to go through the rest of the team to get there. Go ahead. And the guy's like, okay, see you later. And he didn't bother.
Really?
But this is late
That's
70s.
A funny story. Yeah, a lot different than.
Mac T's like, the guy didn't even come on the bus. And that was the end of that.
That's funny. Tay says, guys, my understanding was that Holland was asked earlier in his final year to get Broberg and Holloway done, and he didn't.
Listen, we talked about this. You are in no position of power when you're sent down to negotiate your next contract. Both Holloway and Broberg were down in Bakersfield. I think this was around December. Remember, there was some reports saying, oh, he was asked to do this, asked to do that. Kenny Holland, from the start of the season, was a lame duck GM. We have to remember that. So maybe Kenny didn't.
Well, and Jeff Jackson was already here.
Exactly.
If Jeff Jackson really wanted that deal done, he either could have forced Ken Holland to do it or he could have done it himself. So this is one of those things that really pisses me off because I think people who are trying to hang the Broberg and Holloway situations on Ken Holland are just being asked politely by other people in the organization to try to hang those things on Ken Holland.
That's how I see it too.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's too obvious to do that. If the president or CEO of the team wants those two guys done, they get done.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Like, come on, that's how businesses work. If they don't get done, you go and get it done yourself. So that's just, I hate when that comes up. And because I refuse to believe it.
Yeah. And those players, again, had been sent down to the AHL. They had no bargaining power. None. And they clearly, when they had some via the offer sheets, they exercised that right to use their bargaining power. And it benefited both of them. They're playing, they're paid better, and they're not dealing with this situation that the Oilers are in right now, although they're on a team that's not going to the playoffs.
All right, 780-218-9999. Dudley says, instead of calling it the nuclear line, it should be called the Viagra line because it's supposed to pump life back into a limp performance.
Ooh, well played.
That's actually pretty funny, Dudley. Dudley's been bringing some heat lately with some texts.
The Devils organization, not 38 coaches, 31.
31 coaches, okay.
Including Bep Guidolin and his, I'm assuming, son, Aldo.
Guidolin. Now, I think there's something there with...
Bep Guidolin should be familiar to Oil Country because I think he was with the Oilers in the WHA years.
Okay, I was going to say, how come that name sounds... I feel like I think he holds some sort of record or something, too. Thought I talked about him one other time on the show, and I don't know if it was about anything to do with the Oil. Also, I can't remember who it was, but here it is. Bronco Nick 1213 texted in and said, this team can be summed up with one meme, and it's the meme of Paul Rudd on that one night show going like this. It's just like he's like what? Like
I don't know.
That's actually pretty accurate, Bronco Nick. Pretty accurate. Tommy, what do you think happens tonight? Outside of a great time at Westgate Boston Pizza.
All for a good cause, too, by the way. I think they do win, and I think that our parlay hits.
You think so? Also, the best of both worlds.
I want it, baby.
Oilers win, and we get the no-score parlay to cash.
That's right.
I got time for that.
Me too.
You know I got time for that one.
I just want to verify Aldo Guidolin.
Okay.
Because I think this is great. When I saw Bep had coached the Kansas City Scouts, and Aldo did a few years later, I was like, oh, you want to talk about nepotism, hey? Where's Aldo Guidolin? Looking it up. I'm looking it up. Also, he coached the Oilers in 76.
Aldo.
Bep did.
Oh, Bep did. Bep Guidolin.
I could just see him drinking small beers like those old Italian guys would. Aldo Guidolin. Oh, maybe he's his brother.
Wow, we're learning so much about the Guidolin brothers.
Yes, we are. Because he was born in 1932. How about that? He is the first cousin of fellow NHL player and coach Bep Guidolin. There we go.
Alex Belkin over on the Nasty Chat on YouTube. And hey, hammer the thumbs up for us if you're watching over there. Every time I bet on the Oilers to win, they manage to lose, even to Buffalo, even to the Ducks. So today I won't bet and the Oilers can win. No, you can bet. They can still win.
Yeah.
We just cashed the no-score, no-point parlay. You can still win today.
That's right.
Even if they win.
That's right.
Or even if they lose, you can still win this bet. Probably more likely that you do. What's coming up on EST Afternoons? Zach Dickham, who do we got here, buddy?
Well, Stefan Rosner from the Hockey News will join Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage to talk about the Islanders game coming up tonight. And, of course, before that, highlights, lowlights, highlighting the loss from yesterday. Zach to the future, as we do every single Friday, and we go around the world of sports before the Reed Wilkins Show kicks off from 3 to 4:30.
That's right.
There we go. Yeah, that's right.
Almost said 6.
Hernan says it's time to wrap.
Okay, and I've got a
Hernan,
noops. Library Pat reminding it was Mike Milbury, not Terry O'Reilly.
Oh yeah, Mike Milbury.
Sorry, I get them confused. My bad.
Mike Milbury. He used to be on our show back in the day.
Yeah,
he was a regular
enjoy
hockey
him very
insider
much.
one year. He
Yes.
was funny. All right, that is going to do it for the Oil Stream. EST Afternoons is on the way next. Boston Pizza, Westgate, right by West Edmonton Mall. Swing on by today. Tommy will be doing pre and post there. We'll be watching the game there tonight, which should be a lot of fun. For Tom Gazzola, I am Dustin Nielson. Huge thanks to Popeyes and Boston Pizza for powering the Oil Stream. We'll talk to you later today. Take it easy.